brought to you by the Municipal Councillor for the District of St. Bruno since 2013, Mr. David Tekotis. David understands his important role as a competent and honest administrator. In addition to his mandate as a Municipal Councillor for the District of St. Bruno, he held key positions on the Executive Committee as Vice President of the Executive Committee and Deputy Mayor. David chaired the Board of Directors of Société de Transport de Laval, or STL. David also wants St. Bruno to remain a vibrant community with a strong community attachment serving its citizens. Now, back to our latest episode.
We're back with another episode. It's been a while.
It seems like it's been
It's episode 27.
Already.
I know.
That's crazy.
You know what's funny?
Right.
We started every single episode saying, "Hey, we're back!" It's 27 episodes that start like that.
We're excited to be here.
Yes, very excited.
We're in a
much
new studio.
That's true.
Look at this.
Iron Man is behind the curtain.
No, not anymore. I
Not
switched
anymore.
it. Yeah,
No more Iron Man.
I see a blinker.
He's a blinker.
That's over
How's
there.
it going, girls?
Good.
Good.
Excited. Wedding season is starting soon, Steph.
Oh my God! No, I started. I started
Oh,
already.
okay.
I've
My
been,
first wedding is May 17th.
Okay.
So I'm still kind of on a little vacation
you're getting,
mode, but not
ready.
really.
Oh my God, it's coming.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the wedding is coming May 17th, but
Yes.
you've probably been working on it for who knows.
almost like close to 6 months, I want to say.
Oh,
it feels like
wow.
that. It feels like 6 months. So
Yeah. So
kind
I
of,
mean,
it's
you're still doing the work.
yeah.
It's
still
just that
doing
the wedding
work.
has.
Just the wedding is the day. And speaking
To
about
be fair,
yeah,
the most important part is now.
Yeah.
Because the day of the wedding, if you're not ready, then fuck.
basically just abandon ship and
Yeah.
salute.
That's it.
I'm
Where's the
gone.
wedding planners at the bar?
Basically.
Imagine.
Me, right there.
Wow.
That's what it is. That's how you sound when you're smashed, right?
So, guys, Wedding Chimes has a new studio. Look at this.
very
It's-
exciting.
I think the chairs look really.
They're very
And the
comfortable.
flowers are still here.
The yes, we
took
had
the
to.
flowers.
We had
the
the
artists.
cups and the cups.
Yes.
It's very
And they're
important to
filled
have
with water.
crazy water.
We're living life on the wild lane.
We're keeping the old vibe with a new studio.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very exciting.
And you know what? We're gonna have multiple studios. We're gonna have different places.
Yeah, because we can afford it.
Well, we have some reception halls that are willing to have us on there, and
Willing
it's
to
gonna
have
be
us.
fun.
Love it.
We've moved up notches.
We're moving up in the ranks.
That's it. Not inches, notches.
Not,
Rungs. Ladder rungs.
you sure it's water in there, right?
It
Yes,
is.
it's
I would have smelled it.
Yeah, same here.
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe not. But anyways,
Yes, it is. It is. It's white water.
so good. Did we have a good week? Did we have a good week?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Good.
Not too busy on my end, but we're good.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
amazing.
bit occupied. Yeah, I have a lot of things
Yeah.
going on. Yeah, but it's good. I love wedding season. I love weddings.
I could
say
tell.
that every episode, but I love weddings.
You can't go wrong with a good wedding.
I know. I can't wait. Somebody has to get married.
next?
I want a party.
I want to part.
What?
Party.
What?
I want a party. I want a reason to do the hair.
I think actually the wedding I had Saturday was wild.
Okay.
They
Love
were,
that.
and I knew the minute we walked in for cocktails,
Yeah.
there was a lineup at the bar, like a
There we
lineup
go.
on the dance floor. I was like,
It's gonna
okay.
be a good one.
Well, it's
That's
gonna be a good one.
It's,
Yeah.
it's like I got this. Like it's gonna be a good one.
And our dinner set, it was awesome. Our dinner set is usually super laid back. For the first course,
Yeah.
we lay it back. We do like an acoustic.
I always tell the DJs to play something dinner appropriate.
Yeah, we do
Dinner
like
appropriate.
super soft mute, like acoustic. It's really an acoustic
that's
set.
Good, yeah.
But I mean, the dance floor was jammed.
I love that though. That's good too. You have to know, obviously,
Like
the
literally
crowd and the energy.
playing about like super more than words, like a super acoustic song, and the dance floor is just like full right away.
Yeah,
And the maitre d is like, how am I supposed to serve?
That's
I don't
the
know,
worst.
man. I don't know what you want
That's
me to do.
the worst. Like
Serve now.
Yeah.
run.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I was like, yeah, it was
Beeline
wild.
down.
It was wild. It was wild. It was
Okay.
fun. It was fun. It was
So
fun.
speaking about weddings,
Yes.
Yes.
What are we doing?
so we're gonna go with what you should DIY and what you shouldn't DIY for your wedding.
A bridal gown, I wouldn't DIY.
No, no.
Unless, of course, you really need to, I wouldn't do
But
that.
besides your gown, one thing I always tell my clients, limit to what you DIY to 3 things in your wedding planning journey. So for example, flowers, for example, we have here.
Uh huh.
You could either, well, get them, from anywhere, like Amazon, you get the fake ones, or even rental companies. More and more rental companies are renting artificial flowers, but they look realistic, okay?
Nice.
And some, if you want theirs, you could always make your own centerpieces. I don't suggest anything so crazy, but let's say if you want to get like the small bud vases with like one rose or something very small, you could do it. But I always recommend, if you want to do centerpieces, do it if you're having a wedding of, let's say, 80 people and less, it could work. Less tables, and everything. But if you're doing a wedding of 100 people more, forget it. I don't suggest that you DIY your flowers because it'll show and the time, unless if you're a florist or you could do it yourself if you like doing that, like making centerpieces. If you have the experience to do it, then do it, fine. But I always say be careful, if you don't know how to take care of flowers properly, they could end up dying and it'll be a whole mess, So that's one thing. Or another thing I suggest my clients for centerpieces, candles. You could buy candles, the fake candles on Amazon. There you go. Sometimes that's all you need.
I think it's very important to pick, because I think you have to do some things you have to do it yourself. Realistically,
there's things that are,
if you want to be, some people know. Some people just
love it. If you love making centerpieces, like I said, if you have a passion, I say go for it. It's your wedding. If you have confidence and the time, because you don't realize how much time is going when planning. You fly by, right?
Yeah.
And another thing I always suggest to couples that are artistic or like to do projects, you could even do, example, your wedding menu. Your thank you note. That's another thing too. For example, many of my couples actually, more and more, they're making their own. So on Canva, you could do that. They have the format. And then I think on Canva, they have their own printing company that they ship to you. Or you could print your file at Staples, Bureau and Go. So you could do it. You could pick your paper, the quality, you name it. It can be done.
Sure.
So if you're artsy, if you like that type of stuff, you could go for it.
I love it. This is so
and
cute.
Look how pretty it is. It's so elegant,
very
so
pretty.
simple that it's easy to do. And that's it. That's all there's to it, And I always recommend couples that like to do this stuff to do it ahead of time. Don't wait till the last minute.
Oh yeah, imagine the Friday night.
Do it before. I say do it a month before to be safe, because the printing, the time to check the quality, because look at the paper thickness, the color.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It takes time, right, to do all this back and forth. You want to make sure it makes sense. And look, like for example, the theme was like red roses here, like roses, romantic, the pink. So she actually found this stencil on Canva. She did it herself. She created a stencil herself.
Oh, nice.
And she got it printed from Staples, I think. That's what she told me.
Very smart.
So again, it all works. If you have the time, the patience, I say go for it.
Yeah.
And another example too, which I like.
I love this one.
It's the wooden heart.
That's what I want. Well,
it's a piece of.
Is that wooden
that
heart?
would have been nice.
It's a piece of wood, but this one was made by a designer. But you could always do it yourself if you are good at woodworking, or if you know someone that does it, you could get it done.
Okay.
Right? So again, it depends on the talent and the people in your circle, that who does what,
Yeah.
So if you know someone that likes to do woodwork and they have the machine and everything to do it, there we go.
This is really neat because they have the menu in the back.
It's a double-sided one we got done. It's very special. I really like that one too. They're all beautiful, you name it.
That can even be like
dessert, wedding cake.
Yeah.
That could be on the table, like, so you don't need that many. So it's not
exactly too. So it depends again the style you're going for. And then another thing too that you could also DIY are
like this one.
Your wedding invites. So you could get
one.
it all printed on Vistaprint, Canva. Like I said, there's another website called Minted as well. I don't want to show the personal info. Minted.
Okay.
So
cool.
it's a website in the States, but they do ship to Canada, by the way.
As long as they ship.
They do ship, just telling you. And it's like Vistaprint, but I want to say it's a bit more luxurious, like the styles they have. They collaborate with designers. So you could pick that too, like the color and the lining of the envelope. Like for example, this one.
This is neat.
This envelope is a velvet envelope. It's all velvet with embroidery.
That was on Minted?
This one was made from a designer here in Montreal, but you can get this on Minted. They do have velvet envelopes on Minted. I checked.
That is really neat.
So they do all this too. So it all depends, like budget and time and how many guests you need. depending on the guest count too is a big thing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course,
Like
of course.
if you're having like 300 people or 200 people, I would not recommend velvet
Velvets.
and roll-ups. Okay,
Although
'cause
it's beautiful.
it's gonna go a bit over budget, but it depends on your budget. But it all depends too. I also want to say like the style, the look of the wedding, like what's your theme, right? Because what are you going for?
Yeah,
What's the
exactly.
vibe? And another thing too, what's exciting too, which I love this year, I'm sure maybe you've seen on weddings, is a wedding newspaper. So
Oh,
you can get
nice.
like a wedding newspaper printed from a print company or now online, even Etsy. Ooh, Etsy's a good one too. Etsy, you can get a lot of things on Etsy for like paper goods and everything, menus, names. They do it all on Etsy too.
Nice, because I like this. And this one's very simple. This is actually a menu.
Yeah, very elegant.
And they tell you the first course, the second course.
Yeah.
I'm just curious what they ate.
Yeah.
Mixed green salad with lemon pepper vinaigrette. Creamy
good.
wild mushroom soup with croutons.
Beautiful.
Gonna say, it all sounds
Creamy
good.
risotto with butternut squash and pesto.
Yeah, that sounds
And
good.
dessert, wedding cake.
Yeah.
Wait, what was the main course?
Creamy risotto with butternut squash and
Oh,
pesto.
no meat.
Nope.
Wow.
This one actually I used
It's not
for,
easy being green.
I think this was an actual wedding, but I used it for one of my style photo shoots.
It is
Yeah,
really
it's
neat.
very pretty too. Yeah, very like the watercolor,
Look
that
at this one, it's a menu.
She made it on Vistaprint.
Put it up, Lisa. Put it up.
My
Listen.
client, I remember
you go.
this one. It was Vistaprint. She made it.
Vanna
made-
White.
Yeah,
What?
Sorry, I said Vanna White.
she
The square in
she
the
made it on Vistaprint, and the reason why at the bottom here there's a knot, and I'll tell you why. Because the napkin ones were knots, because her husband was, I think, in the Marines. So like he made the napkins made out of knots. So we put the napkin through the knot.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's why
Wow.
we have the knot there, because it's kind of the vibe.
So they ate at Auberge du Vieux-Port.
Yeah, the wedding was there. Yeah,
Oh, Auberge du Vieux-Port. Yeah,
that
nice
was
place.
This was the
Oh,
pandemic
don't tell me on
wedding.
that third floor.
No, we're the last one, the bottom there.
Oh, that's the best. Because when
And-
I my first time there, I showed
We
up.
did. It was a
Ah.
pandemic wedding. This was my
Okay.
good.
21, yeah.
Yeah, this was my good friend's wedding. Now she's my good friend.
Yeah.
And now she went to my wedding too last year.
Okay.
So we were laughing because for her wedding, we got the thing that everyone had to be out by 10. The curfew got announced that morning. So I was eating.
Oh shit.
I was eating my cold ham sandwich, okay, very cold ham sandwich, just to get some peace, before everything. And I forget her name, the one, the matron came saying, Val, it's 10 o'clock, the time out. I'm like, what? We have to leave by 10? Yeah. So it was already 20 people, I think, the wedding to begin with. It was very
Wow.
small, right?
Oh my god.
COVID wedding, right? So
Yeah.
we had to follow the protocols and everything. So that was quite a day. So again, in that case, a lot of things were shut down. So I'm like, just order everything off Vistaprint.
Yeah.
It'll be easier and you get good quality. You get to pick the color, the theme.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm just using Vistaprint because I trust Vistaprint.
They also have a return policy too, don't they? Like a pretty decent. If you're not a big fan, you
Yeah.
can probably return it and.
Yeah, I'm sure there's an option if you're not happy with the quality. And also, too, Vistaprint and more of these companies, they offer you a sample pack, too, of what they offer.
Oh, cool.
Like, example, where is it? It's somewhere here. Like, you see, this one says, we do. So you see, if you turn in the back, it says, like, the Vistaprint code of which one is it.
Oh, that's very nice.
So it's
That's
like,
smart.
oh, I like this one. You could get this one. Example, like, this is the invite, like the pro one, the shimmer. So there's so many things when it comes to stationery that you could do. And it's very DIY and you save money too. You save a lot,
What about a place like Michael's? Do they have a lot of stuff that you can use?
Michael's I like because it's a craft store. So
Yeah.
if you're very artsy, you could have fun with it. They have so many things. And if you feel ambitious, you could make your own. They sell the paper and you could print on it. So if you're
Right,
ambitious and more and more I find my couples, they have these like crickets, I think they're called. So they print it on and you could make everything on the cricket. If you're artsy, you know what you're doing, I say go for it. But again, don't overwhelm yourself. That's the biggest key. I tell all my clients, don't overdo it. If you need professional help, let's print it. If it'll help, don't feel overwhelmed, because at the end of the day, it's only going to take time away from what's important,
Yeah, but
like the overall.
But what's important is picking the right thing that you could
I agree,
do
yeah.
it yourself, and I would say that that's the most important.
Yeah, if
It's
you
a
have
time thing.
it's
Also,
the-
the party favors at the end. You can. That's
Yeah,
something that you can
make-
save quite a bit of
You could
money.
buy them. You can make them. Like I know a lot of my clients, honey, little mini honeys.
That is so smart.
You buy the honey from the
Yeah.
Impermeable. or anyone that distributes honey, and you buy the little things on Amazon, or
vials.
Michael's sell it.
Yeah.
You put it in, there you go.
And there
you
you go.
pack them up. Or another one, I'm doing a wedding maple syrup.
That's great.
You know, you
That's
buy
really
maple
good.
syrup and put them in your maple syrup. Candles too, if you like making candles, if you're into that.
Sure.
I remember I had a wedding.
Personalizing them.
Yeah, I had a wedding, speaking about that, during the pandemic too. They made the candles themselves.
Oh, nice.
And they put the scents based on where they traveled in the world. So every person got a candle made by the couple where they went to travel. So they had, let's say, Peru or Paris or
Jeez, that's
wherever.
a lot of candles.
So they made, but
Wow.
it was a COVID wedding, so I think we were capped at 50. So
Everybody got Peru.
yeah. Oh, I don't know where, but I think they did it when they were like before the pandemic, when they were dating, where they traveled. So they had a candle based on that area and named something like campfire or this or. So it was very cute. Like it made sense for them to do it, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing too, I also see magnets. You could do magnets. You know, I see magnets, candles. What else? The mini. Like I said, what I did for my one, the mini drink mix.
Oh, you're doing this like you do joints?
The drink, no.
Roll your own joint.
Imagine
Right before the main course.
I actually saw a wedding, they did that. Not here, but I saw a joint bar
That's
once.
freaking
and
great.
I'm like-
Everybody's stoned.
I'm like,
Yeah, well.
great wedding.
You know what? There won't be a fight, that's for sure. 'cause
That's one
everyone's
thing.
happy.
Everybody's sleeping.
My
what
God.
else? But there's a lot you could DIY. Like I find more and more, I want to say after the pandemic, you know, a lot of couples are looking for options. You know
what you can DIY? So I just came up with
Yes.
this. It's crazy, eh?
I love it.
No, but a lot of
Okay.
times you pay your photographer
Yeah.
or your video guy to do like a
albums, you mean?
not an album, but you put up a big screen and you create
The PowerPoint.
a PowerPoint,
The-
not a PowerPoint,
yeah,
but like a collage of pictures,
yeah.
a video of
Just
some.
today, yeah.
And video guys are expensive.
They always
They do. It's worth it. They do
And
good
now-
work, but you can do that
Yeah.
at home. You can prepare
you can
your
make
own.
it, yeah, and bring it.
And rent a screen for like
Yeah.
$100 and you're good to go.
If that, again, it depends venue and everything, but
Of course, some venues have.
Yeah, some venues you
Yeah.
just plug in the USB key and they play it for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you make the pictures from your engagement,
Yeah.
put it, and
Imagine somebody slips a freaking picture in there. Oh, not that picture.
Oops.
But and now what's neat too is I find on that topic there's content creators too. I don't know if you ever worked with them yet, like
Yeah.
the content
Oh.
creators.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, people are
the raw
hiring that. It's
footage, which is very
crazy.
interesting too. I'm doing a wedding with some content. I'm very excited. Not gonna lie with you. I'm looking forward to that.
To see what they do and how they do it.
Because I get the footage too at the end. I have video, I have
Yeah.
things for me too at the end, so I'm gonna take advantage of
For
that.
sure, yeah, absolutely.
So, and another thing you could DIY, like besides favors or stationery or flowers or centerpieces, like another one, they also have like these baskets in the washroom. You could put stuff like toiletries. Some,
Yeah,
like
for
you
sure,
can
yeah.
That's an
gum.
idea.
I did that for my wedding. I've seen it a lot of weddings. I always tell my clients like, hey, if you want to get stuff from Dollar Store or Amazon, you could put it in there and take what they need, you know. You leave it in a little basket and whatever people need they could take, you know. So that's another thing too. Things for kids, like little party favors for the kids at the wedding, you know. So things like that you could always do and save, you know. So it really depends on how much time. Time is key.
Yeah.
B, do you have, like, does it fit your budget? Because, you know,
That's true.
it depends. And C, for example, for the stationery, how extra do you want to go? Like, do you want something really extravagant that you might not be able to do? So you have to allocate that in the budget, right? If you want to do something crazy, do you have room in the budget for it, right?
Yeah,
Or if
exactly.
you're like, I'm not picky, I could do it myself, I'm happy with what the internet has to offer, fine. You could do that too, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
And
that's good.
even cakes. People are doing their cakes now,
Yeah.
their wedding cake, because
Yeah.
more and more people, they're not, depends the wedding, they're not having a 3-layer cake anymore. They're doing one cake for the bride and groom to just cut. That's what I did for our wedding. My mom made it.
Nice.
My wedding
That's
cake,
very,
very
good.
cute. So she made it, and we cut it, and that was
And
it.
why not? Well, it's going to the same place.
Exactly.
so-
You
So
know?
we had it, and then we had desserts. The venue offered the dessert, and that was it. We had a sweet table,
You know what would be cute?
and that was it. Yes.
A bonbonniere, you make little cupcakes
Yeah,
with the thing.
and
And,
that-
you could do a scroll, like a little scroll of their picture and say thank you.
That's cute too. And speaking,
thought of that.
But speaking about cakes, more and more I find couples are giving each a mini cake to each of the guests to cut. So they have their own personal cake
Yeah.
at the venue, so they could cut it there and eat it there. You know. So that's, again, there's so many things with food too that you could do, which I like. It's very creative too.
Yeah.
You could, I mean, depending on the venue as well.
Yes, the venue.
The bar is something you can do yourself too. So people don't know this, but
the Tundra has, you could bring your own bar if you want.
And others, you know, if you don't pay for an open bar, you know.
It depends.
Depends where.
But also you have to know your audience. Know who's coming. Let's say if you're a family and you know one side drinks and you know they're going to be at the bar, do not bring your own stuff because you will run out. You'll underestimate how much alcohol to bring. Trust me, it happened before.
But
a wedding I did.
So the beauty about this is that with the bar, it's $40 or $45 to get a license for a day.
I think it went up. I think
maybe 50.
Yeah,
it's no more than that.
No.
It's like $50. But the beauty about the SAQ is that, like when I did it,
you could return the bottles. You get them stamped and return the bottles.
You can return the bottles. So I bought a shit ton because I did, like, the worst thing for me was running out of booze.
Yeah, you didn't want to.
So I had, you know, I was like, hey, I went back and I brought back, like, I literally had 20 bottles of wine extra that I brought back, and I got that paid back to me. Like, I didn't lose a cent.
That's what I'm saying.
The problem was that I had about 20 bottles of hard liquor that I didn't bring back, and it stayed at my house. Yeah. And the problem was that I finished it all. Through time, it was gone. So, you know, but you don't lose money, and you save money on that.
It's good because some venues, example, like the Tundra or the Jamaican Pavilion at Parc Jean Drapeau, you have that flexibility.
Absolutely.
You know, if you want, you bring your own caterer there. You could bring separate bar to bar with the catering company. All depends on.
If you do an outdoor wedding and under a tent,
it could work, and it's nice. It makes sense.
And but you save money.
You save, but I always tell my clients, make sure that you know your crowd. You know, know your guests. Because if you say no one drinks and you end up missing alcohol at the end, it's only 10 o'clock, where are you going to go on a Saturday night? You know, everything's closed. You know?
For sure.
You can't go start getting alcohol from I don't know where.
Your neighbor.
You know, and especially in Jean Drapeau, you're stuck in that freaking racetrack if you take the wrong turn.
You're done.
Well, I remember the first time I did a wedding there, I got stuck on the racetrack
You were racing yourself?
No, because my dad picked me up. So he's like, where is this place? And I'm like, it's here. So I pin dropped the location on my phone.
It's super hard to get to.
And he's like, where do I turn? He's like, I'm on the racetrack. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm
you have
so
to follow
tired.
the signs. The signs are...
It wasn't obvious because you've never been there.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, in that case, if you leave, you have to cross the bridge and forget it. If there's fireworks at night, forget it. Yeah. You're stuck. Yeah. Good luck. So
I was completely drunk at the Jamaican one. The pavilion? The pavilion, the Jamaican. Oh my God. Trying to get to my car hammered was woo.
I didn't do a wedding there yet, but I did at the Tundra just right across.
Yeah, the Tundra.
In the little path, the big one. Yeah. But again, DIY, you could pretty much DIY anything at this point. It depends. Almost. But again, it depends on a lot of stuff, your venue restrictions, you know, what you feel comfortable doing, you know, because you're planning a wedding, and wedding planning, there's so many little steps that needs to be done, like decisions, this, that, you know, choice of food, this, everything.
It's just, it's like a huge, massive load.
And the year you're planning is going to fly by, right? So you'd have to start right away to start DIYing things, depending what you want to do, you know? Because some of my, you know, people think in general, like, I see these forums online all the time. Oh my God, on TikTok, I can't. I deleted my TikTok for that reason. Wedding talk, I'm like, I'm gone. They're like, yeah, you could do this in 2 to 3 weeks of projects. I'm like, okay, this is impossible, 2 to 3 weeks, but sure. Yeah. Why not DIY your whole backdrop? Go for it, you know? Are you a wood maker? I don't know. Do you have this bandsaw? Do you? I don't know. So there's things online that, you know, they make it look so easy, but it took them months to do, and they won't tell you that, you know? So again, be very careful of what you DIY. Be very careful of your time, because time is of the essence. And you have you might have an important decision to make for your caterer or your rentals, and at the end you won't have time to DIY things. So keep that in mind too, because things move fast and things book up quickly. So if you're running out of time to get your invitations printed, and you might need a print shop to do it for you, or a designer to do it, you might not have the time because people book up, right?
Yeah,
you know, you have to keep in that mind too as a backup plan. If something happens, right, you need that option, you know, you never know. Or flowers, you can make your own flowers, but what happens if the flowers that you ordered don't come in on time? You have to go to a florist and get them.
You have a problem.
Winners. Winners.
Yeah,
It's
Home
true.
Sense.
Yeah,
they
Home
have
Sense.
They have all
beautiful
kinds.
stuff.
Yeah,
so
Home
again,
Sense has nice
you
stuff.
go take the whole rack of flowers, just put it to shelf in your
Okay,
cart.
you can also do like those little arches and stuff.
Yeah.
I
You
was
can-
just gonna say that.
You
Yeah.
can do
can make
stuff
your
like that.
own, yeah. But with the arches, I always say be careful because they're very flimsy. So you have to put bricks
Sure,
on the
yeah.
bottom, like, or not even water, like you need bricks.
But they have
And
them at Amazon too. I think
those
you
are
can
the
buy
ones,
the,
yeah. Those are the ones I'm talking about. I worked with them before on a few weddings. Beautiful. But again, you have to make sure it's well weighted down. Like you have to hide the bricks with something after because the bricks are holding it down. And the arc itself, you have to make it look full at the end of the day because if you make it look sparse, you're going to see the arc behind it and it's going to look kind of. So again, if you feel ambitious and you feel comfortable doing it, I say go for it, the arc, or you can always rent it or make,
You get a pergola.
yeah, or the pergola too. If the venue comes with
The
it,
wine
yeah,
grapes.
you decorate it. And also when it comes to these DIY, see what the venue has to offer because you'd be surprised. Some venues have rentals you could use. Some venues have things like tables and chairs. Maybe, well, typically comes out, but other things like maybe they have an arc that you could use already. You just spruce it up. So see what they have to offer too, because you never know unless if you ask, right?
And obviously we're
That's the
talking
one
about
thing too,
we're
yeah.
talking about do it yourself, which is good.
Yeah.
But we're looking at budgets, right? So
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
it's
Big
it's in
time.
order to
Yeah.
save money. Like
Yeah.
if you don't want to have a headache, then you can just outsource everything and,
Yeah.
and not have a problem. But
Yeah.
sometimes they weddings are expensive.
They
so
are.
another
and now
thing.
with the tariffs and everything too.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
It's insanity. It's not normal. The
sometimes
things
you have
went
to
up in
rent.
price. Yeah.
And when you rent utensils,
Yeah.
and crazy idea, but like I go to the Costco, the business Costco,
Yeah. I've
and
never
they
been,
sell.
but-
It's amazing, this place, and they sell like forks and knives.
Oh, yeah.
For restaurants.
Yeah.
And I'm not kidding. It was like I think it was like you get 30 metal
Okay.
forks, beautiful, for like $20 or something.
Yeah. It's a really
Like,
good, yeah.
but good quality with knives.
Of
I
course,
bought
the whole
steak
set,
knives
yeah.
as a joke. It was $5 for 12.
That's good.
But they're really good steak knives.
If you're being used at
So-
it's good quality, right? You go
It's
there.
yeah, so it's like if we look around, sometimes you rent it and you're gonna pay thousands of dollars
It
to rent.
depends. Yeah. Oh,
Might
yeah.
as well pay a couple of $100 and
Yeah.
you get to keep it after. If you fucking make it a party favor
Yeah,
after,
at the
I don't
end,
know.
take them. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Sometimes, and you
Yeah.
could save a couple of
Oh, for sure,
$1,000. And then
100%.
if you want a photo booth, well, you save the money. It all depends what you want. If you
And-
want both,
But that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Two priorities. What do you want to prioritize? Saying, hey, we're gonna get professional, and what,
Yeah.
And I would, over time, what I always tell my couples, write a list of what you prioritize. Like, what's important besides the venue, right? Like, besides your venue, what's important?
well, even the venue, even the
there's
venue,
a
it's
lot
important.
I would say
Yeah.
that is important.
But I mean, besides the venue, that's the most one of the. But I mean, do you rather have a good photographer over a photo booth, right? Like things like that. Like, would you rather have the best caterer in town because you specifically want this type of
Yeah.
food, and say forget the photo booth, for example, right?
Yeah.
Like things like that where it's not as important as, let's say, the food or the music or the band. Like, what are your priorities when it comes to your wedding besides having the venue? You
Well,
know?
what you want
But
them
you
to
know what?
remember, right?
Yeah.
Mostly.
Exactly.
But even the venue, I think sometimes couples put a little bit too much weight on the
Oh
venue.
yeah, big time.
Because it's not that it's not that their idea is not nice, and it probably is gorgeous, but
Yeah.
sometimes, and I've seen it with my own eyes,
Oh yeah.
like a beautiful venue, but you just have too many people.
Yep. It's
So
just
now
too
you have
crowded,
to cut
yeah.
people and cut and cut
Yeah.
and cut, and it's so
You
many
end up
headaches.
cutting everything that at the end is like, well,
And then
It's
you
a-
might end up
Yeah.
biting no kids.
you never
Well,
know.
that's a trend now. That's happening like more and more.
Yeah,
I-
I've seen it.
Well, if you have joints at a wedding, yeah, for sure.
But people say, "Oh, I love that place. I want to get married there," and no doubt, I'm sure you do.
It's
Like
done.
it.
But if
for
it's not
sure, yeah.
feasible or super expensive, just shop around.
Yeah,
It's like don't.
there's
It's
so
not the
many
end all
many.
be all.
There's so many venues out there, and what's
Yeah.
even more popular is there's Airbnb weddings, like in a state, a big
Yeah.
house, and then you do it there.
That's a good
And
idea.
I've done it before. I've done it. It was a few years back. I've done it before. It works. You just have to like the area, and now there's a lot of these places on Airbnb, like these companies buy, like it's a company that owns it, and they rent it out for these big weddings, and they come equipped with everything.
That is so
And
nice.
you save on money. You bring your own caterer. You bring everything. You save a lot of money, a few $1,000s. But again, the big thing is is like it's really the couple and their theme and like
Well,
they
that's
have to, because some couples are more traditional. They want a typical reception hall with the church wedding, and that's okay. Some are more open to other ideas. You know, it depends the vibe of the wedding that you want. If you're open to seeing what's out there, okay, let's shop around. Let's see what makes sense in your budget. What do you envision your wedding day being, right? What's the bigger picture? Do you want more laid back, more chill? Or do you want the typical formal plated 4-course, 5-course, this and that, you know? And there's no wrong answer. I've seen it all. And I'm sure Steph's seen it all too, right? We've seen it both pretty much all. Well, I still have more years to catch up to Steph. But until then, you know, you see trends, what's trending, what's not trending, what makes sense, you know? So... It all depends on what you want, because you only get that one day.
I can tell you a couple of things not to do it yourself.
Uh-oh.
And the first thing, not because it's in my business, but I've seen it where they I'm just going to put a playlist.
Stop. I've seen that before.
Right? Or they say, they bring home speakers.
Stop. That's the word.
And they put it on the stage.
That's horrible.
Or they ask their uncle to bring their home speakers.
Can you bring the Bose?
Yeah.
And it's like...
I've seen it before, and as a planner, I'm like, okay.
It will not.
No, it's not the same
never
energy.
Work.
Yeah.
Well, it's not even the energy. There's a reason why we pay thousands of dollars on speakers. So, and even if you pay $10,000 on a home sound system, because there are.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's a home sound system. It's exactly that. Home,
not
the
venue.
size of the venue. It doesn't have quality. Could be amazing, but it doesn't have wattage. You need wattage, so you need 2, 3, 4,000 watts to cut through.
Yeah,
because a microphone needs the power.
Oh yeah,
because no one's gonna hear you. Like no one's gonna hear you if you for a speech. Music, if it's not a certain volume, you're not gonna dance. Right?
What did he say?
What was a song? Yeah,
it was a song.
Yeah.
If you know when there's 200 people talking to each other in a room,
forget it.
You will not hear anything.
You won't.
That little speaker, and you're gonna break that speaker system that you brought. It's gonna blow because you're pushing it, and it's gonna distort, and then it's gonna blow, and then you don't have that system anymore.
$10,000 system.
Bye bye.
No, that's it. Then you cry.
I had actually one of the couples recently was like they freaked out at the price that was charged for dry ice.
That's going to be expensive.
But like, do you know how much work it entails? There's a reason why. The machine is a couple $1,000.
By yourself.
And the client was like, "Oh, but I saw it on Marketplace for like $60."
Oh God.
I was like, "Go ahead,
bring it, go."
That's what I said. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I said you'll cover a good surface area. Maybe you'll get some dry ice on her leg, like.
If you're and remember too, dry ice, as you know, is very quick. You can't have
super quick.
It's like maybe 2 minutes max, depending how much dry ice you put in there, you know.
And the ice can't stay out.
Yeah.
So
and remember, you have to move it in the angle. Well, you know, you need this. It's a whole. It's a whole behind the scene. It's not just you press. No, move it in the angle to this. It's true. So if you don't know what you're doing or Marketplace.
No.
You're on your own. I wouldn't recommend
that. There's a reason. When people charge a certain amount, some overcharge. 100%. I get it.
100%.
Some photo booths are, $3,000
more.
Like, what? Like
more.
Okay, bro. But they brand it and they have a good service. Good for them.
Hey, teach their own. I've seen how many photo booths, how many this, how many that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But does it work? Can I take a picture and send it to my phone?
You can actually do your own photo booth.
I've seen it, and it worked just fine.
It works.
Everyone was happy.
Yeah.
You can't complain. So at the end of the day, again, it depends what you want, right?
Yeah.
It depends budget, what you want, what you don't want. No, maybe dry ice is a bad idea because it's kind of tricky.
Terrible idea.
But besides that, I even read an article that someone found Carrie Bradshaw's wedding dress from the Sex and the City at a thrift store in New York. She found the actual one. Apparently, it was all over the news.
The actual one. Maybe it was a replica.
No, not the big one, like the other one. I forget which one. I don't know. I was reading it
the big
somewhere.
one's really nice. You're not talking about the one with the peacock feather.
I don't even know who you're talking
about.
Who the hell are you talking about?
It was another one. I think.
Sex and the City.
I don't remember. Was it that show? I forget. She found it in the thrift shop, and it's like the actual one, and
holy
this
cow.
whole thing. Yeah, so I'm like, okay.
Let's go to the thrift shop.
Sure, but not the big one. The big one from the actual wedding scene is in the museum, I think. It's you can't buy it.
I really like that wedding
you cannot. It's like
the big peacock
banned. Yeah, that was a good one though.
That was nice.
That was
that you
beautiful.
can't DIY.
No,
you can't do it yourself.
Nope, that's a big no-no.
I
The
wouldn't.
peacock feathers? Yes, you can.
Yeah, no, the peacock, it comes out
Yeah,
here.
it was beautiful.
nice.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Don't do it yourself. Your hair.
No, it depends.
Yeah, but it depends on your
I'm totally
style.
kidding.
Yeah,
I'm totally
it
kidding. I don't know.
depends.
You could, yeah.
I know a bride. She took a makeup class, so she could do her own makeup.
That's sweet.
So-
And then you do the whole bridal party, so it's free.
So it's like it depends again on a lot of things. Like for me, I suck at doing my makeup. I barely could put mascara on her. Like I suck. So in that case, why would on my wedding day start? You know,
You learn.
I forget it. I have no more patience.
My daughter curls her eyelashes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I can't.
she's there. You have
makes
to
me
curl them because it
squeamish.
gives it
Yeah,
volume.
it does, but
I buy a booster from Rimmel or whatever
That's
the hell,
why.
and my eyelashes do.
yeah, that's it. That's all. But
That's
like I
it.
said, everyone's different, so you can DIY many things. But again, it depends on you, your preference, and your budget. Budget's
Of
the
course.
big
I think
It's
thing.
all
the
about
budget
budget.
is the big
The
one.
budget's
That's
the
it.
biggest thing. So all
Yeah.
depends on your budget and what your comfort is, where you draw the line on. Like, what's the max you're willing to spend?
Yeah,
You know
of
what you could
course.
do? You can also suck your wedding planner into doing something. Hey, you look very artistic.
Sure, yeah.
Then all of a sudden that bill comes in, you know.
A final invoice
Oops.
here.
There you go.
There
Oh,
you
I
go.
didn't mention this was in the
Vital.
fine print you didn't read.
Very, very fine print at the bottom if you keep on going.
But again, you know, even something like limos. A lot of people want to buy
You don't-
limos.
No, but the thing with limos, most of my couples are using Uber now.
I know it's crazy.
They're,
What?
They're Ubering now, yeah.
Well, you're spending $2,000-$3,000 on
For how
renting a
long?
car because
It
then there's a
depends,
driver.
yeah.
There's a
Then you
and
have
it's
to
like
tip and this and tax
yeah, and it's like
this.
you know what? I'd rather have a fucking
They
coffee
Uber,
machine or
yeah.
something at their.
Well, yeah, the
you know?
Cafe Milano there.
Yeah.
Everything is
Did,
becoming
yeah.
do it yourself. It's like, you go to the store and you have to check out yourself.
Yeah,
And you
oh
scan your
God,
own
I
produce.
can't stand
We're
that.
We're going, no, but everything seems to
Yeah.
be doing do
And
it
then-
yourself lately.
But like I said, with the limos, some of my couples, they take the Uber down. They
Yeah.
Uber.
Yeah, but that's smart.
You Uber, you scheduled it on time, saying, okay, schedule it this time for this day, and that's it.
Something that drives me crazy about this do-it-yourself, which
Uh-oh.
I love, but sometimes people think everything is you can
can.
do.
You
It's
can do it
easy. Everything's easy.
It's not.
Literally had a what was the request?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they made it sound like, well, what do you mean? What's it gonna take? I was like, what?
No.
They wanted. Oh yeah, they
Uh-oh.
wanted to have a song
Okay.
with different lyrics,
Okay.
and I'm like, oh, can't you just find the program and remove the lyrics,
Doesn't
the
work.
voice, and put another and record someone else doing the words that I write? I'm like, yeah, it's called the studio.
Yeah.
And it's
I was
called
gonna
re-recording the whole song,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
called like, no, we're not gonna do that for free. That's like a whole people record albums.
it
It costs
doesn't
thousands
work-
of
yeah, it doesn't
dollars
work like that,
and
yeah.
time. Like, what are you talking
Oh
about?
my God, they make me laugh, these people.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people they think everything's easy and
It doesn't
everything
work
could
like
be
that,
do it yourself,
yeah.
and it's not. It
And
doesn't
that's why I
work
tell
like
my
that.
clients, you could limit to 3 things. Pick 3 things.
Yeah.
And because before, I had couples do everything. I'm like, whoa, like you're not going to have time for what really matters. Like you have to make decisions. We have to do this. We're still this. We're still the seating, the floor plan, everything. Like I need your input on some things. I can't have you DIY your whole wedding.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Like it doesn't work.
I'm going to
like
marry
that.
myself. I'll do the
Yeah,
priest.
so that's what I'm saying. The cake, if you want a family member to make it, make the little cake for yourself. That's fine, Cool. If you want the flowers, the invites, the menus, do it. But don't overwhelm yourself because you're going to be so hung up on doing these little things
Yeah.
that it's going to be a build up. And then you're going to lose yourself in
You'll
the
be stuck,
planning.
of
And then when
course.
I'm calling you saying, hey, how's the, have you put the tables yet? Did you seat the guests? No. Well, forget the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focus on what's important. The flowers, you could buy them at Home Sense, literally.
Yeah.
Or we could rent them.
Yeah.
It's all doable, So don't overwhelm yourself because that's where I draw the line, big
yeah,
time.
Yeah.
The best is, can you just put a microphone for for the priest outside? And it's like, well, I
yeah.
could just put but I mean,
Just.
we have to charge. Well, what do you mean? You guys are already there.
No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
know, but what do you think?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
I'm there, so now what? Do you want me to be a waiter too? Since I'm
at
there, I
that
might as well
point,
be a
yeah,
waiter.
at that point, once I remember one wedding, I'm not kidding you, I had to be at the bar at one wedding because they hired, no, it was the venue. I forget the venue. Which venue was it? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Venue. And they were short-staffed, fine.
Oh boy.
No.
So I see there's like lineups, you know, and I'm like, and I had a spare 20 minutes. I want to go to the washroom and eat something, but why would I not?
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me go see if the bar needs help, because I see a big lineup, you know, forming, and I'm like, this is not good, because then they cut into our time for cocktail hour, and then it's going to mess up everything in the evening.
Yeah.
It's going to ruin my perfectly color-coded schedule. And I don't have patience for that today, okay?
Yeah.
We already started ceremony late because the bride was in traffic, but it happens.
Yeah.
40 minutes late anyways, doesn't matter. So we're already behind schedule. So I'm like, let me see if I can help. So I'm like, do you guys need help? They're like, yeah. Do you know how to make drinks? Sure.
Mix whatever. That's it.
So I was for 20 minutes making drinks. So at one point, you know, I had to do what I had to do. And then I gave them shit. I'm like, I don't have time for this. I want to eat something and go back. You know, I only have 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But it helped. It helped out. Wouldn't do it again because I'm not a bartender.
Just mix alcohol. Who the hell knows?
Mix it all together.
When they
enjoy
get
it.
smashed, it tastes the same.
It all tastes the same. But like I said, at the end of the day, I would not like, you know, again, it all depends, you know, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you could do, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Well,
Oh
you know
my
what?
God.
At the end of the day, we're going to switch things up around and say, do we have a thought of the week, or is that the thought of the week?
I think that's the thought of the week.
At
Good
the end of the
save.
day,
Good save.
at the end of the day, you can't do everything.
It's true, you can't.
You cannot
That's a-
do everything.
That's
Only
a good
just
thought.
here.
That's
It
a
is a
very good
It's
thought.
a very good thought.
Yeah. Or that you don't want to do everything. That's another good thought.
Because you also want to enjoy too. You don't want to be
Yeah.
to some
Touche.
point.
True.
You know,
Yeah,
and you have a
exactly.
planner for that. Well, I don't do everything, but
No,
And-
but there's certain things
Yeah.
that have to be, organized.
exactly. There you go.
And what about song do we have?
So I used a lot of songs.
Oh, I have an idea. If
Yes.
you're running out, I have an
Yes.
idea. Yeah?
Yeah, because
Okay.
TikTok wasn't too kind to me. There's no
Okay.
recommendations.
You know what? I have an amazing idea.
Yes.
I did it this weekend.
Okay.
And
Which one
I have
is
to
it?
say, with a live band, it was
Of course.
sweet.
Oh, it's-
But it's a new song. Well, not new, but Bruno Mars, Lady
Uh-huh.
Gaga, "Die with a Smile."
Not that one. I can't stand.
Are you kidding?
I hate that song.
Should have said yellow.
Are you serious? Really?
I can't stand that song.
Oh my God! It's like the most
don't like
well-written. It's the most beautifully vocalized
What's the
song.
one I like? Benson Boone, The Beautiful Things. You know, the one that's always on the radio. Benson Boone, The Beautiful
that one.
Things that I got. I don't know.
I
I don't know.
I don't know that song.
Well, this weekend we did that. We did
Okay.
"Die with a Smile." The words are amazing, but live with the band, it's so powerful.
I have to work with you.
That,
I need to work with him so
Yeah, he needs a
badly.
bit
It's
of
gonna be
I need.
fun.
yeah.
I need just that one wedding.
You're gonna
The
love the, power.
color-coded schedule.
Yes.
You're gonna love it. And we had like, I mean, I'm not tapping myself on the shoulder, but we wrote a horn part that goes with the song and the punches of the song
Okay.
and the vocals at the same time belting like in harmony. The guy and the girl live, and the bride and groom had a dance to it for the
Okay.
whole song. It was out of this world. It was really something.
Nice.
It's just a song that's powerful vocally that
Okay.
hits you live.
But so for first dance, it's so many options. Like I said, I
Oh,
don't have
yeah.
ideas for this week, but there's so many out there. Like you said, you know.
Yeah. Of course,
There's
of course.
so many.
Nice.
I refer to Vampire Diaries, so I'm still
No.
there. I'm still on there.
My
I'm not
goodness.
over. So bad.
No, it's not bad actually. I didn't tell you, but
Uh-oh.
no, this is not part of the wedding podcast. I'll tell you after.
Were we gonna go into another story?
Yeah.
This is like a
Because
weekend
it
chat.
included Ian Somerhalder.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'll listen.
After.
We could end the podcast and then go into that.
I know, that's why I said no, pause. Do
Yes.
it yourself moment.
Do it yourself. Awesome. On that note, guys,
No, she's not finished.
I think I'm good. I think I
that
said
was,
I think we're good.
everything I needed to say on this topic.
yeah, I think. Well, I mean, it's a good topic.
It is
And-
actually, it's an
and-
important one
It
too.
is an important one. 100. What the hell?
It's the ghosts of Christmas
Yeah,
past.
our lights just go on and off. Whatever. No, I think it's a very good topic, and
It
it's good
is.
to be informed about certain things. And you know what? If you're not sure,
Yes.
so if there's any not client, but if there's any bride or bride to be, or husband to be,
Groom to be.
groom to be, if you're not sure and you're thinking about doing it yourself and you want some feedback, reach out to Val, reach out to Wedding Chimes with Val.
We got you covered.
We got you covered. We'll answer. There's no charge.
Free of charge.
DIY.
And you can tell by the podcast, we're pretty brutally honest.
We are too honest, but it's
we're
awesome.
honest. We'll say don't go for it or go for it.
Or go at your own risk.
Or go at your own risk. Yeah.
We did tell you.
Yeah, you might want to check that color. Yeah, I'm just saying. It does look like shit green.
And you can write to us on our YouTube page.
Yes.
You can write to us on Instagram, on Facebook, Spotify.
Spotify
You can hear.
well.
You know what?
Everywhere.
You can listen to us in the car.
It's true.
While you're on the way to work, put on Spotify, listen to Val's ideas. And
They'll be like,
stationary.
yay!
Enjoy.
There you go.
On
Put yourself automobile. Anyway.
On that note, guys, please don't die with a smile, but live with many smiles. How about that? Huh?
A bit backwards.
That was good.
But I'm sure whoever's drunk out there, y'all know what he's talking about.
And you said y'all. Okay.
Y'all.
Awesome. Awesome,
All
guys.
righty.
Okay.
Bye, girls.
See you guys
Have a good
soon.
one.
Bye.
Very soon, actually.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Ciao.